Hey, welcome to AYEEEE's Guys Podcast. Actually, you should subscribe right now to Apple Podcasts, also Spotify, radio.com, and all streaming platforms, baby, because we all over the place. I'm Devontae Stone, the Stone Pony. No, I'm not Trump. Let me take my glasses off. Woo! All right, on the show today, guys, Tory Lanez is under investigation after Megan Stallion was shot in her foot. Elsie's going to have that story coming up. Plus, Washington Redskins owner Dan Snyder is in hot water. And yes, you'll find out coming up. Plus, CBS fires Nick Cannon. What? Get out. What did Nick Cannon do? What did he say? And remembering civil rights pioneer and Congressman John Lewis, who lost his battle with cancer at 80. All right, so we're going to get right to it. Let me take my mask off. Well, let me keep it on for a second. Let me take it off. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't put your mask on, I'm coming after you. I am coming after you. You're going to be calling me the mask pony. The mask pony is going to be riding through your neighborhood, and I am coming, and I'm going to make sure not only do you have on your mask, but your kids have on their mask, your mom and your dad, they have on their masks, your neighbors on the block have on the mask, the dogs and the cats and the birds, whatever you want, put a mask on them, because mask, according to science, saves lives. Look at all the rest of the states, guys. If you look at the national chart, states like California, states like Florida, oh my God, states like Texas, they are in bad shape, and it's getting bad. Here in Illinois, we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good, but how long is that going to last before our mayor, Lori Lightfoot, comes in and says, okay, we're stopping all of this because you guys, you don't know how to put your mask on. All right, remember, here in Illinois, we've had phases. We've even talked about it here on the podcast, the phases of us reopening. How many of us want to go back to curfews? Do you want to go back to a curfew? No, I don't want to go back to a curfew. How many of us want to be limited on where we can go and what we can do? Gyms are open back up for us to get back into the gym. It's summertime, right? People want to look good. People want to feel good. Restaurants are open back up to a capacity where it's not as many, but people are still social distancing, right? But ladies and gentlemen, if you guys do not mask up, especially here in Cook County, in Illinois, in Chicago, we're going to go right back to where we were. And I don't know about you, but I don't like that feeling. I don't like that. I think you guys can remember, right? March, April, May, June. Here we are in July. And no, I'm not selfish. My birthday is coming up in August 1st in a couple. No, I want to be able to. But we have got to put on our mask. Wear your mask. It's not about you. Here's the thing. Yes, we believe in, saving the lives, right? So let's not be selfish with it. Let's not think because, oh, I feel good. It's not about me. I tested negative. I feel good. Oh, everybody around me is good. I can go out. No, because now what you're doing is you're not using wisdom. Use wisdom. Put the mask on. It saves lives. It saves lives. And I'm going to talk about this before we move on. 97,000 plus confirmed cases, guys, in Cook County. Here, where we are. 97,000 plus, right? Numbers seem to be creeping back up. It's because people are not social distancing. I go out and I see people that don't have a mask and I'm looking at them, they're looking at me and I have on my mask and I'm getting side looks, I'm getting looked down, I'm looking at them, it's a stare down, I'm looking at a stare. It shouldn't even come to that. It should just come to what we call common sense. But you know what they say about common sense? It's not too common.
Not common. I had a friend actually tell me.
Mask.
Yeah. One of my friends actually told me last night, she's a bartender, that they were warning her at work to prepare for phase 3. So like pretty much save your money and be ready to go back to not having a job if it comes down to it. Like they were saying that they had to like warn their customers and stuff, and she told me about it, which I think is crazy because I haven't heard anything about that yet in Chicago for my Chicago you know, service industry people, but that was out here closer to my area, so like that's like suburbs, you know. So I don't know, it's a little concerning for sure.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
concerning for sure because nobody really knows, and
yeah.
that's why
To
it's
say
really
that,
important. Yeah,
to say that too, just real quick too. Like on top of that, with us could be going back to it. They even talked about the CPS schools, how that's probably going to change now. On top of that, because people are not wearing the mask, they might go back to a different phase. But they already have reform where the CPS schools might be doing 2 days in school and then 2 days remote learning or something like that. So, you know, it's getting crazy. So we really got to be careful wearing the mask. Big time.
really do. We really do. We have to be mindful, ladies and gentlemen, and let's kind of progress. Let's not digress. You know what I mean? Let's kind of move forward. With that being said, Fry Guy, I know you got a lot cooking. What's going on with Dan Snyder and the Washington Redskins?
All right, so first things first, what's cooking is Washington is back in the news again with their football team as they are reported by Washington Post that they had a toxic work environment. Over 15 girls over this tenure of this time, which I think was from 2008 to 2018, pretty much have filed a claim where they either been sexually abused and verbally abused. And they had one person speak about it on Good Morning America earlier this week. It has been really bad. You had stuff where, like, I mean, cheerleaders are posing nude for like ticket and suite holders. You had like players not playing the game because they're talking to the coach people. They was just like making fun of the sales exec people. It's a really bad look. Dan Snyder now has came out and said a quick statement, said this pretty much this Washington Post article is not our coach and we're going to change that. Ron Rivera, the head coach, spoke about it too. But it's not a good look, man, with Washington because they got a lot of minority shareholders already pulling out of it because this is just not a good look at all.
Yeah, I heard about that. So unfortunate. And I remember, I think I saw it too. One of the young ladies was speaking out on the Today Show maybe a day or two ago, and she was saying that when she was employed, she said it was a toxic environment. She said, and you know, especially when you're coming in right out of college and graduating, and that's your first job. You know, you're 30 years old. You don't know what to do. You don't know who to talk to. You know, you're trying to learn the ropes. And she said it was just a really toxic environment. It got really bad. But now, like you said, they are investigating, and I heard the NFL is doing a thorough investigation on what's going on there, so they can kind of get to the bottom of it. But wow, on top of the Washington Redskins and changing their name and all of that stuff, you know, with changing from the Washington Redskins, and now this on top of it adds, of course, fuel to the fire. And can't wait to see what happens actually comes out of that. What else you got, bro?
All right, and the second thing is Viacom CBS has fired Nick Cannon. So what happened with that is he said something on his podcast probably about a year ago. Somebody did some digging and found out he pretty much said something referring to the Jewish community and white people, referring them as savages, saying that they rape, kill, and steal their way to get what they want. And pretty much CBS was not having that, so they had let him go. Nick Cannon has responded, pretty much saying he did apologize later to the Jewish community, but at that time it was a little bit too late. He is now asking for full ownership of Wild 'N Out. We don't know what's going to happen with that. And he took a break from Power 106, his morning show that he normally do.
Yeah, and that's an iHeart radio station that he works at out there in LA. Yeah, that's, you know, here's the thing. You live by the sword in this business and you die by the sword. And we always have to be aware, too, sometimes we can say some things. I mean, this happens to all of us, right? You know, and that one soundbite gets out there or something, and then they go digging. And, of course, you know, everybody's right now in the height and the climate of everything. People are finding things. And that happened. I just feel like Nick Cannon is a great talent. We know him to be a great talent and a great entertainer. But you know, some of these things, man, you got to be careful what you say. And you gotta, especially when you're working for these big corporations too, right? You should still be able to say what you want to say, right? Because we should be able to have the freedom of speech. Am I correct? To be able to say, or to be what we call opinionated, but is there a time and a place? And so now, you know, what was said, like you said, he came out with the apology, and we don't know what's going to come of it. Did they say anything about wilding out? Because I saw something, Brandon, that was crazy on Instagram. I saw something that said Steve Harvey's wilding out. I'm like, what? What is he? What?
They had a Ryan Seacrest one too, wilding out. Like they, you know.
Oh my gosh, he can't. No.
Yeah, they
It's
had
not the
that one
same.
out too. People making jokes and stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, that also shows you too that, like, with that being said, like, if you in a position like that, don't ever get too comfortable. The people who are smiling your face and stuff like that, don't ever get too comfortable. I wish Nick Cannon had full ownership of wilding out, because I thought he did. And to see that now he doesn't, or probably have like a small one, but he'll be back on his feet in no time. Diddy already offered revolt to him. Like, you can come on, have a new show over here. So he'll be fine.
Yeah, he's already made his, you know, chair in this industry. So I think he's going to be like probably well off, if anything. I mean, I think that, you know, when you close one door, another one opens, there's going to be more opportunities. Maybe this is supposed to be how it's supposed to happen, so he can finally, you know, go big or go home and then, you know, retire maybe. So, you know, this could probably work out for him. It just sucks because it's like, it was his platform, you know, he was saying that in his own time, and whether, you know, people agree with it or not, it is his opinion. He has every right to voice his opinion, especially on his platform. But, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So we'll see what happens, and I'm sure as the new developments come out, we'll be finding out pretty soon what's happening. Man, but this whole thing with Megan Stallion and Tory Lanez, first the reports were that, you know, Megan was shot in her foot. No one knew exactly who it was. And then finally it comes out that Tory Lanez is the one maybe responsible for shooting her in her foot. We do know that this thing is under investigation now. And I don't know, it's been really crazy. You got the 411 on it, Elsie. What happened?
Originally they were saying that so Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez were hanging out over at Kylie's pool party, Kylie Jenner. And I guess, you know, everything seemed like it was all cool because she was, you know, on live on Instagram, and it seemed like they were all hanging out, having fun. And when Megan and Tory left the party, I guess there was like some kind of disruption. One of the neighbors called the police, and, you know, the police showed up at the scene and found the SUV that they were in. And I guess what they found was Tory with a gun. And there was a rumor going around saying that she had originally cut herself on her foot and she was rushed to the hospital. But then she came out with a statement saying that actually this was intentional. Someone was trying to harm me. She didn't say who, but she did say that this was against me. This was to harm me. I'm very thankful that I have realized this. Unfortunately, you know, it took this to make me realize it, but I'm going to go back to, you know, making music and focusing on myself. So that, in my eyes, when I first saw that post, immediately I thought Tory definitely shot her. And that wasn't what people were saying. You know, I'm sure some people probably assumed that too, but it wasn't circulating at all that, you know, people were assuming it was Tory. So there was a bunch of tweets going on Twitter, like, who shot Megan? You know, everybody was wondering, like, who did it?
Who shot Megan?
And yeah, it was going viral on Twitter. And then finally, what ended up happening was, I guess, something went out where it was like, okay, Tory actually shot her in her foot a couple times. And my prediction behind that, it's crazy. Well, my prediction behind that is they were quarantine buddies. And, you know, obviously people are spending time together. I'm assuming that they were definitely hooking up or doing something. And things got ugly that night. You know, alcohol's involved. Maybe they got in an argument and he was trying to test her, you know, trying not to let her leave the vehicle. And she was probably just, you know, they were both drunk and it got ugly and it went south. The thing with though, it's just crazy because the thing with that too is like, it just gets me heated because I see people tweeting about it saying, I know Tory would never do this. He's not like this with women. I can't believe it. Let's just wait. Let's just see. And I get it. You want to see what happens because, you know, not everything is true. You know, rumors are rumors. But the thing with this one is you never know who that person is. Like, you might think you have a really good friend, and this could be either a man or a woman. You might think that this person is a good person because they're friends with you and you kick it with them, but you don't know how they are with their significant other or with the person that they're hanging out with, and things can get really ugly. So I think that he was on some crazy stuff where he was trying to be controlling and just pulled out that gun to scare her, and maybe was just like doing it to scare her off and actually like ended up getting her foot. So I think
Now, see,
that
I
is my
give you
prediction.
credit. I give you credit. I'm gonna go to Brandon. I give you credit for saying that because I actually think it could have happened where the point that he really was upset and he really was trying to shoot her in her foot, and he was trying to shoot her in her foot. I know you gave him credit by saying he was trying to scare her off, and then he shot the ground, but it actually hit her foot. But what if he was, because we don't know these people,
We
right?
don't know.
And you
We
just
weren't
said it.
there.
We don't know what happens when people get behind closed doors, and we don't know what kind of sparked it. Like you said, it could have been the alcohol, it could have been maybe some drugs, it could have been the quarantine, but it happened. And I understand that there was a chauffeur, and I understand there was somebody in the back seat. But here's the thing: I'm in my mind as a guy, I'm thinking like, maybe this guy could have been obsessed though, right? My guy, maybe he could have been like, you ain't going nowhere. Where you going? Where you going? Where you going?
Yeah.
You're not going nowhere. Where you
I
going?
think exactly that's what it was.
It could have happened like that. I don't know. What do you think, Brandon?
I'm agreeing with both of you guys. Like, I definitely think Tory has something to do with it. You know, reports will come out later, but the fact that the bodyguard spoke out about it, he put out a tweet, and her producer spoke out about it, pretty much told Tory Lanez, count your days. He has some type of involvement with it. The only thing is we don't know fully everything yet because nobody's really talking to the cops. They're not cooperating. Everybody who's a witness, even the friend, Megan's friend in the car, is not talking. But hearing what Megan was saying, kind of what Elsie was pointing out, saying the fact that this is very eye-opening, somebody's trying to like hurt me, it puts things in perspective where naturally, like, maybe I'm moving wrong. Maybe I'm not doing the right thing. So let me just focus back on music and recenter myself because I think I'm hanging around the wrong crowd. And it sucks that it had to happen like that.
Yeah, no, I think it sounded to me that she was dealing with a toxic situation and she had been doing this. So maybe, unfortunately, you always have to learn the hard way. It's always a hard way. I'm glad that she's okay. I just don't know how I feel about the situation. I don't know. I wasn't there. You know, I don't know Tory personally. I don't know Megan personally. But, you know, I really think that it is what I think it is. And, you know, people are out here trying to defend him and they don't even know what happened. They don't know the relationship that, you know, was between them. And, you know, you never know behind those closed doors.
You know, especially with celebrities, because, I mean, we hear so many things. Oh my God, we all learned a new word last week from Jada and Will, entanglement. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
but
they were in
it's a lot going
entanglement.
on, right? And that's still kind of hot. But here's the thing.
Yeah, it is.
Shooting stuff is crazy. I am so tired of people shooting people. I'm tired of hearing people getting shot. I mean, last week, Ricky Smiley's daughter was shot maybe 7 times. And now here with the shooting with, you know, Megan getting shot, thank God that that it wasn't anything worse than what it was. Because, you know, we could be talking about a fatality or something gone wrong, right? But like you said, people getting into the relationship, we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened behind closed doors. People may seem to be one thing, and then of course, like you said, you never know that some people have what they call those demons in their closet. They have those monsters, right? And you never know a person until, from my understanding, and I used to remember my grandmother used to always say this. She said, you never know a person until you live with them, right? And for some reason, you don't know a person until you, especially, you know, like you could be dating, but then when you move that person and you guys start, oh my God, you start finding out everything, people's ways, you know, everybody, you know.
Yep.
But, you know, who knows? I only wish the best, though, for Megan Stallion, such a great talent. And I hope that, you know, I know that investigators will investigate, and I'm sure that we'll be finding more details as they come out. All right, right now, let's do final thoughts right now. And we'll start with you, Elsie. Your final thoughts.
My final thoughts. Wear a mask. Definitely wear a mask. Don't want to go back to those phases. I just hope for the best at this point. Work as much as you can. Save up your money.
Yeah.
You know, sanitize, and just stay focused on whatever it is that you want to accomplish, because, you know, we don't know what is going to happen out of this.
No.
And just prepare, because I don't know. It's getting unpredictable and it's scary.
Yeah, I agree with you about save some money. I think everybody is out here spending crazy. They're getting these loans and doing crazy stuff. You better put some money in the bank.
Yeah.
Brandon, Fry Guy, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is R.I.P. John Lewis. If you don't know who he is, they got documents on Netflix. Check it out. Social activist, marched with Martin Luther King, good friends with him. So do a little history doing that. And then obviously arrest the cops that murdered Brenda Taylor. So
Come on.
those are my final thoughts.
And they still haven't, the charges, they still don't have any charges on these guys,
No,
right?
they just had a protest for it. A lot of celebrities were there, and they were all arrested. Their charges are upping because they was at the person's house or something like that protesting, and he called the cops and got them all arrested. But still, no charges, nothing. No arrests been made. So
yeah, we got to get down to the bottom of it. All right, and thank you. And then once again, as you mentioned, civil rights pioneer John Lewis. Google him. He was one of the young guys at the time who crossed that Pettus Bridge when they were all crossing that bridge. I believe it was in Alabama, parts of Alabama or Mississippi somewhere. And he was oh my God, he has just a long history of just pioneering for civil rights, and he lost this battle with cancer here. He's going to be remembered. But he's, you know, it's not too many of those guys left, and so rest in peace going out to John Lewis, and condolences to his family and all the friends that knew Congressman John Lewis. All right, other than that, that's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, mask up, okay? Mask up. You got to do the right thing. Put it on, okay? And subscribe to This Guy's Podcast on Apple, Spotify, radio.com, and all streaming platforms. Guys, take care. We'll see each other again, okay? We got to go out to eat. We got to go do something. You know, have some drinks and some beverages soon, okay? Have a good weekend.
yes.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.